Hi, and welcome to Infertility Unfiltered, where fertility experts and warriors are joining forces to provide you with tips, tricks, information, lessons, and inspiration so that you can take back control of your life and get your baby on board. Hi, I'm Jennifer Robertson, and today we are very blessed to be joined by Erin McCollough. And Erin McCollough is the founder of Fertile Hope Yoga, the world's first online fertility yoga studio, allowing women to practice from the comfort of their living room floor. For more than a decade, Erin has been leading the industry with her in-person mind-body fertility program at the CNY Fertility Center. She's the co-creator of the Fertile Secret book and has helped thousands of women reach out and hold their baby after they have been told that they could never get pregnant. I'm one of those. And today we are going to be talking about why it's so important to approach fertility challenges with a mind-body approach and what that actually means and looks like. And if you stick around to the end, Erin is going to tell you how you can get your hands on her free affirmation deck and yoga course. So thank you so much for joining us, Erin McCollough.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for having me.
Perfect. Now, before we get stuck into the mind-body approach, why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself and how you got down this path?
Yes, so we were just talking before we came on camera that it was a little bit like this. The path was windy to get here, but long story short, I believe I was given a mother. I had a lot of challenges with my own mother, and led me down a healing path where I had to do my own healing. I became a yoga teacher when I was 19 years old. So I have been teaching and practicing yoga for over 20 years. I've been a massage therapist, a Reiki practitioner, an Arvigo massage therapist. So I got my hands on as many healing modalities as I could come up with. And quickly realized that when I had my daughter, we had a lack as a culture. There was just such a lack of tools and resources and just a lack of that community. It's the season, fertility, pregnancy, motherhood. Everything around motherhood is this time and opportunity to really align ourselves, and to do some of the deep work and find our dharma, our purpose, and cultivate that. And there just wasn't anything that supported me from the inside out. Of course, we have the doctors and, people kind of looking in, but nothing that helped me look in and look out. So I decided to create it. And and long story short, last year I decided that my mission was larger than just supporting women and families in my own hometown here in New York. And I wanted to join the global community. And so everything I do now is online. And I have women from across the globe. I have women in the United States, Canada, Australia, Austria, Qatar. It's amazing. It's amazing. And we're all together in this beautiful community.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I love what you're doing. It's absolutely amazing. And you were talking about purpose before, finding your purpose. And I think when we're on our fertility journey, it is really hard for us not to get absorbed in our purpose being have a baby. So can we talk a little bit about, what's going on in our mind and the effect that it has on our body and our ability to fall pregnant?
Yeah, so that's a really good point. So we become it's almost like a microscope, right? Like we get and especially if you're working with a doctor, right? They put you under, they make you feel like their job is like science, right? That comes from looking under a microscope and getting in there and looking. So it's very easy to get sucked into that. And what we need to do as women in our femininity and to kind of get back to that place of anything is possible is to kind of move out, see the forest through the trees, if you will, and it's hard to take that vantage point. So what I teach, I realized that yoga And I teach a more traditional yoga where it's yoga on and off the mat. So it's mat, we go on the mat and we do the physical practices, and I teach in a very methodical way that matches exactly where a woman is in their cycle. Matching if you're doing working with a doctor and doing any kind of procedures. So that part is done. But the work off the mat is just as important, like what we were just talking about. And when we can, it doesn't matter how we approach it, right? If we approach, it's a lot of times easiest to find that stillness or be able to listen by moving our body. Our bodies are like the most easily accessible way to find that space.
And I think sometimes it distracts us, you know, sometimes we need a distraction to still our mind so that we're not just in our heads so much.
Yeah, and we have so much tension, right? Like we're holding so much things that it's not even ours to carry a lot of the time, you know. And it's like doing the hygiene. It's a hygiene. Yoga is a hygiene. It really is. It's like, just if I can get everyone just listening today to realize that moving your body, being with your breath, listening, really, really listening, finding that space to cultivate awareness, that's where everything comes from. Nothing can be born, created, unless we have that space. That's where our creativity, our openness, where our pelvis then opens and our energy centers open. And then all of a sudden, you know, I'm getting stories from you. Then the rest is like we do the best with what we have in the moment, which is,
and that's, you know, yeah, and it's so important because in like this day and age, like this society where we're at right now, it's so hard to get space, to get silence. We're always moving, you know, we've got goals, we've got ambitions, and you know, I'm your typical type A personality, and I know a lot of women who are in my community and who I coach as well are very similar as well. So the thought of stopping, standing still, it's a completely foreign concept in this crazy world that we're living in.
And then, but the real secret is like, the more you can tap into that space, it's actually the more productive you are, the less time you actually are going to spend spinning your wheels, the less exhausted you'll be. That, like, you're actually getting farther quicker once you tap into that space. So it's a different approach. And what this approach of incorporating yoga and on and off the mat, you know, it just changes, it can change everything. It creates more ease. It creates a sense of control. You know, when everything feels out of control, like we do have so much power in this, so much. And it's connecting with that. And
okay, yeah, absolutely. And so for the woman who is out there and she's just, you know, running and running and running, completely exhausted, completely overwhelmed, what is something that she can do, you know, just a small thing that she can do just to get started today?
yeah, so breathe. Take 2 minutes. Close your eyes right now, wherever you're sitting, and just find your breath. And it may not come if you're really that in it. If you've really been running that long, think about, like, if you're doing Ironman after, you know, like intense, you know, living intensely, you think like 2 minutes is going to all of a sudden like help rewire your nervous system. No, but it's planting a seed, and it has to be watered then. Maybe the next day you do those 2 minutes, and all of a sudden, oh, okay, you know, something starts awakening. And then the next day you do the 2 minutes. It's a practice. It's, you know, and especially if you've been living up here and not in here, in your heart, in your body, it's going to take a little time. That's why these retreats, if you really want to go there, it's like you go into these immersive retreats, and then of course it takes 2 days, 3 days sometimes to unwind, really. So if you can imagine, that's why it's important to do this work, day to day. And there's studies now. We know these practices, how they impact our brain. They literally 2 minutes a day can rewire your brain, and we have studies about how this stuff impacts your fertility. We know that the pregnancy rates go up. We know that anxiety goes down. We know that depression goes down, and not only that, but then you're building resilience. And we know, I tell my students all the time, my clients, I say, you think you're going to get the pregnancy test, and then what's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think this all disappears? No, you just open a new box, right? This is especially if you've had loss, or, you've had a history of, difficult pregnancies, or all kinds of stuff comes up, right? And more stuff in some ways. So now's the time. This is the beginning of the season. This is a long season of motherhood, right? This is, it's like in some ways
And this is the thing, some people never get to this point. And so as much as we would never want to be struggling with infertility, I do see this as a bit of a positive, an opportunity. That's probably a better word, an opportunity, so that you can actually, set up some really healthy practices, learn how to stop, learn how to put yourself first, learn how to get emotionally intelligent, learn how to get emotionally strong, and work out, not who you are, but we were talking about before, your purpose and all of those things, because as you said, and I'm a testament to it, a baby is not the cure for infertility or the stuff that you're going through. Otherwise we'd all be amazing. But I have so many clients who fall pregnant and the anxiety level goes up, because then there's, as you said, it's another box. And then, when the baby comes along, there's another box. So this is such a great opportunity right now to be able to set in place some really healthy practices just for life.
And guess what? That's what you're going to be teaching your children. This is what you're going to be. This is your legacy, right? This is what you're doing for yourself now. You can think about that as impacting your grandchildren, right? This is that important of work to be doing. And, and the mind-body connection is everything, right? What we believe is literally what is available to us. And I had this conversation with a client the other day, there's this toxic positivity thing, right? Like gotta stay positive. No, you don't. You do not have to stay positive. You get to feel all the feelings, and that's what's going to help you stay open. Because it's when we hold in feelings, whatever they look like, that's what starts creating these layers, and when we have to start going on these week-long retreats because we built up so much shit, So now, so we do all of the work now, and it's going to serve you as a mother, as a grandmother, as your children, your relationships, your work, everything gets impacted by all of this. So
absolutely. I love this conversation. I love connecting with you. So how can people get in contact with you after this and get their hands on your free affirmation deck and the course that you do as well?
Yeah, I have lots of free resources all under the realm of supporting our mindset, because that's what's possible for us. So that's the affirmation deck. It's a 75 affirmations all related to our fertility. You can go to my website, fertilehopeyoga.com. I also have a mini course right now that's kind of takes you through the core practices. So there's some on the mat yoga for fertility that's cycle specific. I give you a gratitude journal. So there's lots of tools in there, and I take you through 14 days of practices, just helping gently guide you to start maybe seeing from a different perspective on this.
Sounds amazing. I'm going to pop on over there myself as well. So thank you for joining us, Erin McCollough.
Thank you so much, everyone.
And thank you for joining us as well. So if you enjoyed this interview, please feel free to give it a little bit of love, give it a like, a share, and make sure you subscribe to this channel as well, because this is just one of many amazing interviews as part of the Infertility Unfiltered series. So thanks for watching.